welcome to Charts and Hearts. I'm Sarah, and she's Lindsay.
And together we're working our way through an epic list of rom-coms in order to find and categorize tropes in the hopes of creating the nerdiest spreadsheet podcasts have ever seen.
Today, we are talking about 1998's Shakespeare in Love.
Not really a Shakespeare adaptation.
No, but
it's okay.
it felt like an important addition to the month. Because it also, like, timing-wise, it kind of ties in with the other ones. Like, this was 1998.
Yeah,
10 Things
true.
is 1999. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. You know, and it's an experience.
Yep. It's a movie that happened and is weirder now.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, like, it totally holds up because it's, like, a historical film, but, like, the casting choices don't hold up.
No.
Necessarily.
Nope.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this movie is, like, a very fictional
completely
retelling of, like, Shakespeare's sort of early career, the writing of Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, it stars Joseph Fiennes as William Shakespeare and Gwyneth Paltrow as the person he falls in love with, and basically the rest of the English acting world as everybody else.
And then also Ben Affleck.
And Ben Affleck, but we don't need to talk about him.
Nope.
Yeah. And I think it's our first Not a Happily Ever After.
I think so.
I can't imagine we would have done another Not a Happily Ever After.
No, I think this is our first,
Maybe this isn't technically a rom-com. It is quite funny in places, and it is very romantic. Yeah. So therefore, we included it. Because it's our podcast. Yeah.
Exactly. I think it counts. Like, actually, our first Not Happily Ever After was West Side Story, but that's on the Patreon, so...
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I meant on the main feed.
The main feed, yeah. So...
Yep. Man, I'd totally forgotten that Colin Firth was in this movie. I don't know how.
I know. I thought about it a while ago because I was like, this is our first Colin Firth movie. And then I was like, this is our second Rupert Everett movie? That's weird. I think probably last Rupert Everett movie? Unless he shows up somewhere else. I know he's in Midsummer, but I don't think we're going to do that. Not Midsummer. Midsummer's Night Dream.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. He's in lots of things, but I don't know what else we would do.
I guess we'll see where we go.
TBD, it's definitely not our last Colin Firth movie.
Oh,
don't worry.
Don't worry. We probably could figure out a month even without doing Austen adaptations, which is, spoiler alert, is another month.
Yep. Yeah, because if you aren't sure, we are massive Colin Firth fans. It's obnoxious. Yes. Okay. Well, I don't even know where to start because, like, it is a big epic movie. Obviously, like, they put a ton of money into this. It was definitely Oscar bait. Like, I'd forgotten, but this movie won Best Picture over
Schindler's List.
No,
Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan, which is like, no.
Yeah. I Hate It But I Love It episode for this movie talks a lot about the sketchiness of Harvey Weinstein, not from, all of the things that you already know, but just like all of the money that he threw at people to make this win, and probably to make Gwyneth win, and like even in the trivia, there's all sorts of things of like he tried to get it a different rating. He tried to do this, he tried to do that. He got Ben Affleck in this movie just because he wanted to be, like...
Yeah, like, they pushed for a PG-13, and there's, like, there's breasts, like,
so
women's breasts,
nudity.
And so much sex.
Yeah.
Like, very casual, like, people have conversations while they're having sex with other people.
Yeah, and it's, like,
frequently.
One of the best montages is their, like, the sex where he's writing. But, the other people having sex, they're constantly having sex and talking to people, like... Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, like, there's both, like, romantic sex and also, like, very casual, like...
Casual sex, yeah.
Casual sex. Yeah, and then, so he tried to get it, like, a PG-13 rating, which is dubious.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And then, okay, maybe this belongs in hot takes, but I don't think so. Like, Judi Dench is amazing in this movie. She plays Queen Elizabeth. she's in it for under 6 minutes, and she won the Best Supporting Actress
Yeah.
Oscar. I don't disagree with her winning it. I do kind of disagree with her getting nominated in the first place, though, if that makes sense. Like,
it does. Yeah,
she
I think,
yeah. I don't know.
I would have to look at who else was nominated that year if I knew anybody else, but she's amazing. She's absolutely incredible and steals the movie.
Yes, I did look, and there was no role that was as memorable.
Okay.
But they're like, I can't remember now. Anyways, like, but I think the Oscars isn't just about like giving a memorable performance. It's about giving a good performance.
Yeah,
and, like,
and I think that's definitely a problem with Oscars, especially back then, but still now. Yeah, it's just like who can be the most fancy or something.
Yeah, basically. And she gets amazing costumes, like, holy moly.
Totally.
And then this was the year, too, so this movie came out, and then also the Elizabeth came out with Kate Blanchett as Queen Elizabeth. Ugh,
and
they're both so good.
Joseph Fiennes.
And Joseph Fiennes. And there's a couple other people that are in both, too.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah, this was when I was, like, a little bit obsessed with Joseph Fiennes for a little while. He was incredibly attractive in this movie.
Fair enough. You see a lot of his, like, V-neck chest.
Yep.
Which, from having gone down some random YouTube rabbit holes of, like, historical costuming, like, that white sort of blousey shirt that he wears all the time that's barely done up, that's undergarments. Like, you would wear that under a couple other layers. And it's, like, it's the thing that's, like, easy to watch, cheaply made. And, like, yes, he was poor, but still, he was also trying to, like, fit in society. So, like, I could see, like, around his home when he's writing and stuff, but he would not just be wearing that with, like, a jacket.
No.
About.
Missing some.
It's like, basically, you're missing at least a layer.
Just, like, so he's the Ryan Atwood of his time?
Basically. Just running around in his underwear.
Yeah, so the note you have where he's unraveling her chest wrap is really beautiful. And that whole montage of them having sex and, like, saying the lines together and he's writing like that. Like, there's definitely parts of this movie that get me.
Oh, yeah, so swoony. Yeah. Just the visuals of her spinning and twirling while he's unraveling her is just, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think because of, like, this came out at a pretty formative time for us, like, I don't know, it's just pretty iconic. But yeah, that whole, like, sex montage is very swoon-worthy.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, the overlay of the dialogue that he's writing with them at, like, it's just really, really good. And, like, I mean, I guess we should talk about the Gwyneth Paltrow of the whole thing. I mean, I'm not her biggest fan, obviously. No. But she is, like, fine to good in this. Like,
yeah, I think I'm a fan of Gwyneth in the 90s.
Yeah, and I'm more of a fan of her acting than her other business choices. Yeah, so, like, she's good in this. It's weird to me that, like, they cast everybody British except basically her, and then Ben Affleck, who only got cast in this because he wanted to, like, go to England with his girlfriend at the time. Yeah, I don't know.
Which, like, can't you just do that by yourself? Like, I don't.
Yeah, it was strange. So, I think, like, the casting of her as a huge star at the time was she even that big of a star at the time?
She was. She was a super. 1998. Yeah, she was a huge star. So I think this was kind of like her pinnacle, and then it kind of...
Yeah, I guess so. And then, well, like, this was her pinnacle of, like, being a star for, like, being famous for being an actor, not being famous for being famous, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, she is good in this role. Like, I think she's really good, but it also seems interchangeable in a very sort of, like, Harvey Weinstein kind of way of, like, just get me the prettiest actor who can do a good British accent. Like, it doesn't feel specific to her.
No, it's not. Yeah, definitely.
But sorry, to clarify, that's not a her problem, that's a writing problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, she's just, like, generic, beautiful woman. Yep. And then...
Go ahead.
You go. No, you go.
I was going to say there's so many, maybe too many in-jokes, other future Shakespeare lines and stuff. Like, we talked about this in the other two adaptations, and, like, this is the purpose of, like, of them throwing it out, and it's so funny, haha, but also sometimes you're like, but maybe less?
Yeah. Yeah, like apparently, and like unless you are a Shakespearean historian, I don't think you'd know. Like the kid that has the rats, that's like super creepy. He's like a future playwright in sort of like the next generation of playwrights, like the Jacobin playwrights, which like I wouldn't have known except for reading IMDb trivia. And like he does like so much of his dialogue as he's like writing but also just talking is Shakespearean, like future quotes of things, which like
Yeah.
makes sense, but it was, I mean, it was a
little
lot.
much. Yeah, and the little kid was like so heavy-handed. It was like,
Yes.
okay, I am supposed to look this person up. This is on purpose. When they're like, "What's your name?" I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It was a bit weird.
Also, I read in the trivia that they didn't credit Shakespeare, which is
Right.
rude and also weird, and I don't understand. Like, you don't have to pay for it. It's free. It's fair play or
Yes.
whatever it's called. But like, that's
Yeah, no, it's all public domain,
strange.
but like you could put it in the credits because like a third of the dialogue is like
Is
straight
Romeo
from
and
Shakespeare
Juliet.
or
Yeah.
other stuff. Yeah.
or other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like Twelfth Night and so many things. Yep. Okay, should we talk about the amazing supporting cast?
First, I have two other little things.
Excellent.
One is that theaters being closed for the plague is a different feeling now than it
Yeah.
was when I first watched this movie.
Oh, yep. And then like people pushing to reopen them and it like
Yeah.
being very political about closing for the plague.
It's just like, oh boy.
Yep.
And the other one is my hilarious joke about how Lord Wessex gets £5,000 for marrying Gwyneth Paltrow, and that's not a lot, and he should hold out for Mr. Darcy because he gets $10,000 a year. Everybody
Yeah,
knows
but
that
this was
already.
like a few hundred years before. So
I know.
inflation.
But it's just like he's just standing there, and he's like, "Here's £5,000." I'm like, "Come on, Darcy, you can do better than that.
Yeah.
You're Darcy."
I know, and also like stuff that I didn't really necessarily pick out at the time of like him talking about going to a tobacco plantation, and it's like, oh, of course you're a slave owner, or like
Yeah, of
want
course
to
you
be
are.
a slave owner.
Yeah, that's a question I have. In 1593, like I know Virginia was a thing, but were they
Yeah.
calling it America?
I don't know.
Like
I
I'm
don't
not
think so.
obviously the rest of the movie isn't historically correct, but like that one is always the one that like jars me for some reason. It seems
Yeah.
really early for that
Yeah,
word.
I don't know. Yeah, it seems like it was like the Virginia colony, not
Yeah.
like all of America. I don't know
Yeah.
though when the term America was started to use.
Me either.
Yeah, and then the other thing too is like this movie is so white, and like in the 1500s, like if they were, I don't know, like I'm assuming at the very least there would have been enslaved people in England at the time, but also like and like other people. Yeah, but you know, not surprising. It was the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the supporting cast.
Okay.
It's got everybody.
Everybody. So Jim Carter, who plays Mr. Carson in Downton Abbey, is the most adorable. He's
Oh,
the
he's so
actor
cute.
who ends up playing the nurse in Romeo and Juliet. And then his wife, Imelda Staunton, is in it, who playing Viola's actual nurse, which is adorable.
It is adorable.
I love them both so much, and I still find it hard to watch Imelda Staunton and not
Me too.
find her evil.
mad at her?
because- Yeah. Or like just
It's gonna
assume
be
she's
that
gonna
way.
be evil.
She's gonna be that way forever because that's
Yeah.
what it is. So it's gonna be really interesting when the Crown comes out.
I know. I think
But-
The Crown might actually like fix it for me.
Fix
we'll
it?
see.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Because the Downton movies helped a lot, but then
Yes.
we watched Much Ado, and she's the unwittingly evil person in that. It's not her fault,
Yeah.
but she's a little sketch, and so you're like, oh no, maybe she's not trustworthy.
Yeah.
And then
she's
she just gets all horned up, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, and she is a little bit like untrustworthy. It all turns out okay in when she's in Downton, but
It's true.
yeah.
She's got a
So
big
they're
secret.
both amazing. I don't even know. Like, there's just so many people who's like, oh, it's that guy from that thing.
Arthur Weasley.
Yep. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's the
it's
guy with the
amazing.
stutter who
With the stutter.
was so good, and actually, like, I was like, oh yeah, that is for real, because like a lot of actors, like maybe not a lot, but like more than you would expect, actors have like a history of stuttering, and they got into acting or like public speaking to help with their stutter, because a lot of people, if they're like depending on their stutter, it like is improved when they're like reading lines or playing a character rather than like just trying to talk as themselves. So yeah, I think like you know, you hear about a lot of actors who like had problems with stuttering and now they're like famous actors, and it's that's how they
speaking of
got over it.
stuttering and Colin Firth, Jeffrey Rush is amazing in this movie.
I love Jeffrey Rush.
He's so good.
He's so good. And who's the other guy? The evil guy.
The Ariel Burbage. I don't know who the actor is, but he's really good.
Simon Callow was who I was thinking.
Right, yeah. When he comes in
the
and he gives a little
Rebels.
speech.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, that was a different guy.
Yeah.
You're
talking about Martin Clunes.
Yeah. So when he comes in and gives a speech at the end about putting on a play, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, he's so good. And he's in so many, like, all the British things. Yeah.
All the British things.
Well, he's Doc Martin in Doc Martin.
Oh, yeah. I knew his face looked familiar. I think it was the beard. Then Simon Cowell comes in and is evil.
Simon Cowell. Callow. Yeah.
Callow. Different person.
Yes.
And he's evil, and you're like, oh, you're so fun when you're not evil.
So much. Yeah. Just so many great people. Oh, and Tom Wilkinson. Just basically everybody looks vaguely familiar. And it's really great. And then, like Rupert Everett, who for some reason didn't get credited in the movie either.
I know, which is really weird.
And
also, isn't that a thing? I don't know how it works, but isn't that a thing we could fix?
You would think so. But I guess, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how like the legalities of credits work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're just, everybody's really great. And then we have moist cardboard Ben Affleck. And like, this is no shade against Ben Affleck. I really like Ben Affleck. I think he's been in some really great movies. I like him as an actor. I'm glad he got, like, you know, he's like happily married to J-Lo now. I assume it's great. He has no ability to do a British accent.
Nope.
And basically he's just an attractive prop in this movie.
I know, and it's like his role is really funny, and I think it could have been done incredibly well by a different person. And then it's also just like he's everywhere. He's like leading, doing the choreography. He's like telling the guy to raise the curtain. I'm like, why is Ben Affleck with like in all of these scenes, and those ones he doesn't even have any lines? It's literally for him to just get more face time, which is so.
Yeah. And like, I don't know at the time who I would have cast, but I think like a young British actor who's not stupendously famous outside of England, but he's like that same level of like charming. There's oodles of them.
Oh yeah.
Like, just, there's gotta have been somebody else. But also, according to IMDb trivia, which I know is dubious, and like this could be more of like a PR thing than actually happened, but apparently Weinstein offered him the lead, and I don't even think the movie would have come out.
No, I think it would have just been.
It would have just been
like it's just
awful.
Nope.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just keep trying to think of British actors who could.
I know, right? Like who are the sort of the right age and look. Yeah.
I'm sure I'll think of someone later.
Yeah, I keep thinking of people who are like who would have been too young or too old at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Jude Law.
Yeah, Jude Law would have done it. That would have worked.
Yeah.
He would have been good in that.
Yeah.
No, now I'm sad. I don't know if he was famous then, but Colin Farrell?
Yeah, like young Colin Farrell. Yeah.
Oh, he was famous, because soon Daredevil was going to come out.
Yeah, no, he was around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, there's so many other choices. Like, there's whole... And it doesn't have to be British. It could have been somebody who was, like, Irish or Scottish or Australian or... Yeah.
Yep.
Even,
and they
like,
could have changed his age also, like...
Yes, he didn't have to be young. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I think, though, they did need to be sort of, like, that charismatically super handsome.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That, but I'm like, really, he didn't have to be that age. He could have been...
Yeah, that's true.
A wide variety of ages. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
Anyways, shall we summarize some tropes? Because
there's a lot.
Yeah.
Mistaken identity, of course.
Obviously,
cross-dressing,
like,
as we've discussed.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about the cross-dressing this, but it also is very minor and, like, fits in with the period, kind of, except in reverse.
Yeah, it's obviously much less problematic than doing it in 2006. And, yeah.
And also, like, I'm sure she was not the first or only woman who was, like, pretending to be a man to get a job.
Yeah, the only problem I have with the cross-dressing is how did all of her hair fit in that wig?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Although, like, the big collar at the back of the jacket that he wore helped.
yeah.
Because it sort of helped, like, made the shape. Anyways, yeah. Like, epically running or taking a ferry boat across the river to, like, stop a wedding or do a thing.
Play within a play, as you
Yep.
said, like High School Musical 2, and a big, big ending. Not a musical, but the big end before the denouement is the
Yes.
play.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Romeo and
play's the big
Juliet.
end. The side characters, with the exception that we talked about, are, like, overall way more interesting, watchable, enjoyable, like,
Yeah.
than the main storyline. Yeah, because, like, you know that the story is not going to end well. So, I mean, at least she doesn't die of the plague.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Love at First Sight, of
Yeah.
course. It's very much the exact same scene as
Yeah.
Romeo and
Although,
Juliet and West Side Story.
yeah, although for her, she's known of his poetry and writing
Yeah.
before, so it's not
Yeah, so
really
it's
love
for
at
him.
first sight, but for him, yeah. A gross and evil fiance / husband.
Oh yeah, that's a weird typo. It's like gross finance. What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so Viola, like, she's not manic pixie.
Yeah.
Because she has agency and she does this thing. She
Yeah.
takes her fate into her own hands for a little while. But when she is herself, and like Lord Wessex comes to her and is like, "We're gonna get married," she's so dumbfounded by the role that is her life, which is really incredulous to me. Of like, what have you been
Yeah.
doing before now?
Especially because they're not playing her like she's like 14. Like, she's
She's
older.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think
But-
she's like old, but you know, like
No,
that
no.
character is not like
she's like
super
the
young.
perfect marriage age, and I'm not saying it's what her role is good, but like this is her life. What
Well,
was
and-
she think she was doing when she went to all those balls and when she went to the theater with the Queen and like all this stuff? Like, what did she think that was happening?
Yeah, like rich people mostly went to theater to be seen. Like, you weren't
Yeah.
necessarily going to watch the show. You were going to be part of society. Yeah. So I think also, like, her parents, I mean, they're barely in it, but like, they don't come across as super evil. Like, I don't know. And like, her parents are super wealthy. They didn't have to marry her off to somebody who is going to Virginia, right? Like,
Yeah.
she could have, you know, like, if she'd found somebody who was appropriate for her to marry, like, at, you know, like, that her parents would accept, they probably would have been fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she wasn't actively doing her job as
Yeah.
a woman
Or-
of
yeah, she
good
was just
birth
like
or whatever.
hoping for the best, kind of, and yeah.
Yeah, I think like they definitely make it. They like want to make it evil because they want Lord Wessex to be evil. Of like,
Of course, yeah.
she will breed, and if not, send her back. And like the dad has like an evil mustache. I'm like, he's not evil. He's just a dad doing his job that has a daughter. Like, that's how it works.
Yeah.
It's 1593. Like, you know, and Lord Wessex is not great, but he's also doing what he needs to do.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty evil.
Like, he's evil, but he's not being.
No, he's not, like, unexpected. Yeah.
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 It's just, and she's like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I might be getting married? Like, it's just, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it bothers me more. Like, it always
Yeah,
bothers
if she'd-
me,
if
but
she'd-
it bothers me more.
If she'd taken control of her life in a, like, I mean, I hate saying appropriate, but, like,
Yeah.
in a way that would have allowed her to actually exert that control, rather than, like, a fictional or fantasy way of, like, I want to be an actor. Like, well, I mean, you can, but it means you'd have to, like, run away from your family if you want to do that.
Exactly.
And,
And it's like, and none of that's ever really even discussed. Like, what is her end game? Like, she's going to be in this play, and then she thought what her life was. She was just going to go back to being normal. Like, what did she think was going to happen?
Yeah.
If she didn't meet him and she didn't get married, like all of that. Like, what was going to happen? Like, what did she think her life was?
yeah. So,
Whereas
whereas
live
if
in her
she,
parents' house forever?
yeah, if she'd taken agency and, like, taken control over who she wanted to marry as much as she was allowed to, then yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I
don't
think
know.
like I might have liked her more if she had already been married and then had snuck off to play this man, and then they had an affair.
Yes.
I think I would have liked her more because then at least she would have accepted her role
Yeah.
in society.
Yeah, like, and if, you know, she was doing this as, like, her last ditch thing because she knows that her husband, once he has enough money, is going to move to America, like, move to Virginia. Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's true. Would have been, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Okay, so bad accents we already talked about. Only 2 of them, but
Yeah.
you know who you are.
Gwyneth Paltrow's is fine. It's not outstanding,
It's-
but it's not horrendous.
Yeah, it's, you know, she got a lot of work practice on sliding
Yeah.
doors, which
Yeah.
is that on the list? Oh, crap. It's a good movie.
Yeah, and then like random happenstance slash like shoehorning
Yeah.
the ending into like them playing Romeo and Juliet at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is a big important part of the sex montages that she knows all the lines for
Yes.
both parts as well. Yeah.
Which makes sense. Okay, does this movie pass the Bechdel test?
Well, there's only 3 women in this movie, I guess, and the mom,
Yeah.
but a little bit.
Yeah, like she talks to her nurse, Imelda Staunton, about wanting to be an actor. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And well, like
yeah.
the queen talks to her, you know, the queen knows she's a girl
Yes.
when she's talking to Thomas Kent.
Yeah,
She's
that's
like,
true.
Know what it's like to be in a man's role. So like that also counts technically.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, mostly
Yeah.
it's a, you know, romance, falling in love movie, so, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, do you have any hot takes?
I think our hot takes we've already really talked about. The
Mm-hmm.
side characters are the best part of this movie.
Yeah, and if you just imagine that Ben Affleck isn't in the movie, it's the exact same movie. Like, even without,
Yeah.
even if that character's not in the movie, it's basically the
Yeah,
same
it's
movie.
the same movie. Yeah, you
Yeah.
could have had a nameless person be Mercutio, and it would have been the
Exactly.
same.
Yeah,
But yeah, all the side characters are amazing, and I really enjoy all of them. So.
indeed. Indeed. All right, let's build a pie chart.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess
So
Joseph Fiennes carrying the storyline on his magnificent
attractive back.
Yes. Or I was going to say his
Magnificent
like
chest.
under his flowing undergarments.
Yes, he does an incredibly good job, and it's weird. I don't know what happened to why he went away for so long. I feel like I looked it up once, and it was a little bit weird. But now he was in *Handmaid's Tale*. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
He's so there's another season of *Handmaid's Tale* coming out. He's very
Yeah.
good and very evil, and also not evil in *Handmaid's Tale*. It's like very complicated. Yeah, maybe like 30, 20.
Yeah, I would say 30. Like he's
Okay.
definitely it's a big
He's
part.
yeah, he's really good in this, and like the fact that Gwyneth Paltrow and Judi Dench, like I'm not like they were good, but like he also should have been nominated at least.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, so many Shakespearean mentions.
Yes.
So many. 30? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like, the Shakespearean inside jokes is, like, half the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
Or, like,
it's
not
true.
even inside jokes, just, like, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah. Wink,
This
wink.
is-
Don't you get this?
Yeah, this is a Shakespeare line. Okay. Epic, amazing British actors. Like, 20? Mm-hmm. Because we already covered the Joseph Fiennes part, so, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, the costumes are good. Her wedding dress is
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Wedding coat, I think. It's, yeah.
I'm not saying they're historically accurate because there was a whole lot of
No.
like corsetry worn right next to the skin and like lack
Yeah,
of
yeah.
undergarments and also too many undergarments if you're Joseph Fiennes.
Yeah.
Yeah. 10? Mm-hmm. 15?
Which leaves. No, I would say
10.
10 because
Yeah.
the
Yeah, we
last
need
one
the last one.
should be 10 also because it's sexy montages.
Sexy montages. Ugh.
There's a lot of montages in this movie for it being a historical period piece.
I know. So many montages. I feel like the sexy montages need more than 10.
Okay.
Maybe
Well,
take Joseph Fiennes down to 25? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
okay. So we have Shakespeare mentions 30, Joseph Fiennes 25, amazing British actors 20, sexy montages 15, really great costumes 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, doesn't really apply our next segment because what's next for them?
Nothing.
Nothing. I mean, we know what's next for Shakespeare. We know that she's in Virginia and they will never see each other again.
Yeah. And Shakespeare and all the stuff they talk about the beginning of Twelfth Night isn't how Twelfth Night starts. So whatever. They couldn't even get that part right. I know.
I was like, are they talking about Twelfth Night or The Tempest?
Tempest?
Or maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it was strange. I was like, you guys, it's right there. Like, you
But-
got Romeo and Juliet, correct? Why can't you?
But maybe there's like some historical folios of
There
Twelfth
might have
Night,
been,
like the original version, and then it was edited later.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. And then what's next for us, Lindsay?
Oh, it's Fall into Fall and Fall into Love with Tom and Meg.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll be back in 2 weeks with Sleepless in Seattle, which isn't really a fall movie, just kind of a Christmas Valentine's movie, but I don't care. Tom and Meg means fall, and I don't care that September isn't fall.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing, and I'm super excited about it.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to do all the Tom and Meg, well, not all, but a bunch of Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan movies. And yeah, that brings us to the end of our episode. You can rate or review us wherever you get your podcasts, like Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can find us on social media. We're at Charts and Hearts Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and at Charts and Hearts on Twitter. And our website is chartsandhearts.com, where you can submit your suggestions for rom-coms or interesting tropes for us to add to the list.
If you want to hear more about this month's theme, this is the last of the month, you can check out our Patreon, which is out, which is West Side Story 2021. If you wanted more exciting, not Happily Ever After Romeo and Juliet adaptations, that's for you. And as we said, next month we are doing Tom and Meg, so our Patreon episode will be Joe versus the volcano. So that's going to be a thing. And you can join us at Patreon for $2 a month at patreon.com/chartsandheartsclub.
Yay!
And let us know your thoughts on this movie, who you would cast instead of Ben Affleck, and if you know secrets about Twelfth Night being a storm, and also America being called America, let us know.
Indeed.
And in the meantime, we're still working on an outro, but Sarah has a good one, so Sarah.
Who knows? It's a mystery. How does it end? Who knows? It's a mystery.
Bye.
Bye.